Morning, Willow class. Okay, so yesterday we had a look at generating some questions to interview specific characters, and we did a fab job of coming up with these different questions based on the formality and based on their individual characteristics. Okay, so you came up with at least 3 or 4 for each character. Some of you didn't have to do all of the characters, and that's fine, but it was just to kind of get an idea of how these characters would react and what questions we would ask them. And we're going to use this work in today's learning, okay, and I'll show you in a second how. So you guys are the interviewer today, a bit like you were here. But we also now need to be the interviewer and one other character from the book Wonder. Now, we don't know too much about August. If you remember, some of you might not have been able to watch the film. Hopefully now you have all received your Wonder book, okay? So you're more than welcome to start reading this in your own time when you go to bed, if you're in the car, if you're in the bath, if you just sat on the sofa, chilling for a bit. Enjoy this book because it's a really fab book. So it would really help you if you have managed to read part of this. Don't worry about if there's any spoilers or anything, because we need to be reading it as we go, and I'll just be pulling out bits, okay? As you can see though, we've come up with our questions, and I'm going to use those today, okay? So if you have read alongside or you've watched the film, then it's really going to help, okay? So what I have started to do is use formal and informal language accurately. That's my lesson objective. And the way that we're going to do that is through a magazine today. Now, I know loads of you enjoy reading magazines at home, and it's a really tricky skill to master is writing this, okay? But once you've got it, it's really enjoyable because it is quite chatty, it is quite informal and friendly, okay? So before you actually start your magazine article and before you start interviewing a character, you need to think, first of all, who you are going to interview and why you're going to interview that person. So what do you want to find out about August from that character, okay? And then you need to think about an introduction of your magazine article. When you flick through magazines at home, it doesn't just go straight into your question and answer, okay? It does actually say, we are here today joined by whoever, and it will talk about that before it starts, okay? So I've done a little bit of a magazine article here, and it's colour coded for a specific reason, okay? Whilst I'm reading this, what I want you to think about is, how have I started the magazine article off? So what have I done as an introduction and why? Have I included any relative clauses in there, noun phrases, anything like that as good description? Why is it colour coded, and who have I interviewed? Okay, so think about all of those things whilst I'm reading this. Okay, I can't get my words out. Go Girl magazine have been joined by August teacher to help you guys learn a little more about this young boy's battle with starting school. Okay, so you can see that that is my introduction. This is just the margin that you guys might have on your page. If you haven't got a margin because you've used a piece of blank paper, then you don't need it, okay? So that's my introduction. Quite short, quite, straight to the point, but you can see the name of the magazine, you know who I've been joined by, you know who I'm interviewing, and you know what it's about, young boys battle with starting school. Why have I said young boys battle and not August starting school, okay? Why have I done that? Yeah, good. It's just because I've already used the word, did I say Albert? I meant August. I've already used the word August, the name, so I want to refer to him as something else, okay? So instead of saying August, I'm now saying young boys, okay? Why have I said boys battle, okay? Why have I not said boys trouble or tragic start to school? I've tried to use a bit of an alliteration. Just because, as we know, with newspaper articles, magazines, it grabs the reader's attention, it flows, it makes it easier. So young boys battle, BB, helps to do that, okay, with starting school. So again, it tells the reader what this article is about. They can then decide, do I want to read on, or am I not really that bothered, okay? So then I go into my question, answer, and so on. It is not just, How do you feel August has settled into school? And then the answer, yeah, he's doing pretty well, thanks. And then a question, oh, well, it's lovely to hear that he's doing well. What's his favourite food? Oh, his favourite food at school is pizza and chips. Brill. How do you teach him at school best? Has he settled in well? It's not going to be like that, okay? It's like a two-way conversation. For example, when you come into school, I say, good morning, how are you today? And you'd say, oh yeah, I'm really well, thank you. How are you? Oh yeah, that's lovely to hear. What did you get up to last night? I'm really well too, thanks. So it's a bit of dialogue, a bit of conversation, okay? It's not just question, answer, because that's boring and repetitive. So, firstly, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Can you start by telling us a little bit more about August? What have I missed off here? Tell me. Can you start by telling us a little bit about August? Well done. If you noticed, question mark. Can is a question, okay? Then, answer, sure. So he's responding to this straight away, sure. August is an 11-year-old boy who started our school only 2 weeks ago. It's his first time learning in a mainstream school, believe it or not, okay? So I've added this tag on here to say, believe it or not, you know, whether you believe it or not, it's fact. Again, that just helps us to show a bit of informality, yeah? We don't want it to be, oh, he started school 2 weeks ago and he is doing very well. You wouldn't do that in an interview. It's nice and calm and it's nice and friendly and chatty. So you can have those bits of slang, you can have those bits of tags on the end of sentences, okay? And the teacher is going to be quite helpful with answering the questions. So he's, you know, going to lead the conversation onto another question. Wow, that must have been a tough start for him. Tell me, is he happy in school? So instead of just saying, is he happy in school? I've had a bit of dialogue returning from this. Wow, that must have been a tough start for him. Yeah. And then instead of just saying, is he happy in school? Tell me. So again, a bit more friendly, a bit more chatty. That's what this is about. I really want to see that you can use informal language accurately. Then all of the questions that you had from yesterday from your individual character, so I would be looking at the teacher. So what is August like in school? That's another question that I would ask the teacher. And whatever other questions I had from yesterday's work, I'm going to use in today, okay? And I'm going to get the teacher to then respond to all of those questions. So it's going to be probably a full page, if not a little bit more. This is an independent piece of writing. Below this video, you'll be able to see the success criteria that I've developed, and it just reminds you about formality, the layout, responding to what the person has said above. Don't just lead on to the next question. Talk about it. Have a discussion, okay? And also, if you can, try to include relative clauses. So I've got, August is an 11-year-old boy who started our school only 2 weeks ago, okay? Try and get that detail in there. I look forward to seeing how these magazine articles turn out, because I'm sure all of you enjoy reading magazines, and to actually be a journalist for one is going to be really exciting for you. So good luck in today's learning. Well done, guys.